Hello, I'm Tina. Welcome to practice. I hope you're well. Today we're going to do some work for balance. We're going to be starting laying on our mats, then we'll come up to tabletop, and then eventually we'll work up to standing. So let's come and lay down on our mats. Feet are hip width apart, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Just check that that pelvis is in neutral and that lower back's in neutral, so that lower back is not pushing down onto the floor, tilting the pelvis, and that lower back's not overly arched, tilting the pelvis the other way, hips are level. And then just bring the arms down by your side, palms can face up. If this feels a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can just heel toe your feet a little bit wider and allow the knees to fall in together. And just a few breaths here. Just give you a minute or two to settle in to your practice and to forget about any work that you need to do or have done or any chores. So this is going to be your time, your practice. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, and just slowly start to deepen and lengthen that breath. And your next inhale for 3 and exhale for 3, equal breath. Inhale for 3 and exhale for 3. The inhales and exhales are nice and smooth. Just check that the upper body is nice and relaxed, the forehead's relaxed and the jaw's relaxed. Two more rounds of equal breath. And then if your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. Checking that the pelvis is in neutral, lower back's in neutral. Just gently draw the lower ribs in towards the center line to activate the core. And then from here, on your next inhale, float the arms off the mat so the fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Palms can face the legs, or the palms can face each other. As you exhale, float the arms down. Work with your own range of movement. So the next time inhale, if your arms can only get up here, that is fine, but if not, bring them all the way up, fingertips up towards the ceiling, hands roughly in line with the shoulders, and as you exhale, float those arms down. Check that the lower ribs are still drawing in, you're not flaring those ribs out. A few more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Last one. Low bridge. Activate the core. Check that the hips are level. Activate the glutes, so squeeze those glutes. Lift the hips just maybe half an inch off the floor. Check that the upper body is nice and relaxed. Check that the weight's even through both feet. The knees are going in the direction of your toes. Checking to make sure those knees aren't falling in or falling out. And on your next exhale, slowly lower the hips all the way back down to the floor. Take a nice long inhale, sigh the exhale out. Inhale, activate the core. And on your next inhale, slowly float the hips off the floor. Check that the hips are level. Maybe come up a little bit higher. Check that that pelvis is in neutral. And then pulse. Check that you're activating those glutes. Pulse for 3, for 4. Check those knees for 5, for 6, for 7, for 8. 2 more, for 9, and for 10. And then slowly lower the hips back down towards the floor. Activate the core, and on your next inhale, float the hips off the floor. Check that the pelvis is in neutral, hips are level, glutes are on, core's activated, and then very slowly come up onto the balls of your feet. So you're lifting the heels off the floor, slowly lower the heels back down. So we're coming into a little bit of balance work here as well. Heels lower down, up onto the balls of your feet, heels lowering down. Inhale up, exhale lower. Inhale up, exhale lower. Keep the glutes activated, keep the core activated, upper body is relaxed. Keep lowering and rising the heels off the floor. You'll feel your legs moving. I can see my calves working. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. Hold it there. Slowly lower the hips all the way down. Gently bring that right leg in, hug it in, and then slide that left leg out nice and long. Flex both feet. That left leg is against the mat. Slowly start to soften and slide that left heel all the way back in, and then float the right foot back down to the floor. Hug that left leg in, flex the foot, and slowly start to slide out that left heel, lengthen out that right leg, flex both feet. And then slowly start to soften the right leg, slide it back in, and then gently hug that leg in. Either stay still or maybe just have a gentle rock from side to side, just nice and easy. And then from here, just roll onto one side, whichever side feels most comfortable for you. And then slowly crawl yourself all the way up, and then slowly come into a tabletop position. So once you're in your tabletop position, check that your shoulders are over the wrist, spread the fingers wide, knees are underneath the hips, lovely long spine. Check that the pelvis is in neutral. Shoulder blades need to be in neutral, so they need to be on the back of the rib cage. A few cat-cows here, some spinal mobility. Take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, working with your own range of movement, slowly curl and come in to cat. As you inhale, slowly uncurl vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep the chest open, just lower the belly slightly. Just be careful of that lower back. Check that you're still looking down towards the floor. And as you exhale, slowly curl into cat. Inhale, cow. Take your time. Work with your own breath pattern and your own range of movement. We're going to do 2 more in your own time. This is my last one. And then come back to your neutral spine, tuck both toes, activate the core, come into our first down dog, so pushing hips up and back, piking the hips, making that inverted V. Check that you're spreading the fingers wide, the weight's even through both the hands and the feet. Lengthen the armpits, relax the head and neck, and as this is our first down dog, let's soften our knees a little bit, a bent knee down dog. Few deep breaths here. Nice long inhale, And on your next exhale, slowly lower the knees to the floor. Come back to tabletop, set your base, knees underneath the hips, spread the fingers wide. From here, activate the core, slide and extend that right leg so you're on your toes. Check that the hips are level, check that the core's still activated. Squeeze that right glute and then float that right leg off the floor using that right glute to lift it. Check that the hips are level, breathe wide and full. Neck is part of the spine, so check that you're not dropping that head down or not looking up. And on your next exhale, lower the right toes to the floor, come back to tabletop. Activate the core, slide that left leg out onto your toes, check the hips are level, check that the core's activated, shoulders are over the wrists. Squeeze the left glute, raise the left leg up. Check that the hips are level. Check in with the breath, breathing wide and full. Lower the toes to the floor, slide that knee back in. So we've already started our balancing. We were balancing down on our bridge when we come up into our calf raises. And now we're balancing in tabletop. So this time, activate the core, slide the right leg out, raise it off the floor. Check that you're still activating that right glute, hips are level. Maybe slide the left hand out. Maybe stay here or come up onto the fingertips. Balance in here. You have the option to float the fingertips off the floor. Either stay here or maybe bring the arm up, coming into Superman, or some people call this bird dog. Check that the hips are level, that the lower ribs aren't flaring out. Inhale for 3, exhale for 3. So go back to your equal breath. If you need to rest, just lower the hand and foot back down to come to tabletop. One more inhale. Nice long exhale. Slowly float the fingertips back down, the feet back down, tabletop. Left side. Activate the glutes, slide that left leg out. Squeeze with that left glute, check that the hips are level. Glutes activated, core's activated. Slide that right hand out, maybe stay here, maybe come up onto the fingertips. Maybe float the fingertips off the floor. Maybe bring the arm up a little bit higher. So we're thinking about lengthen the arm, lengthen the leg, rather than height, hips to level. Go back to your equal breath. One more inhale. Nice long exhale. And then slowly lower the fingers down, the toes down, tabletop. And then from here, if you need to give those wrists a shake or give them a circle, please do so. We're going to add on from here. Check that the pelvis is in neutral, shoulder blades on neutral, hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Activate the core. Slide out that right leg. You know the drill. Activate the glutes. Hold it here. Slide out that left hand. If that feels enough, stay here. If not, raise the arm off the floor. Check that the hips are level. And then from here, you're just going to bring that left elbow towards the left hip and then lengthen out the arm. Left elbow to left hip, lengthen out that arm. Then hold that there and then slowly bring the right knee in, work that balance in towards the body, then lengthen out that leg. Bring that left knee in towards the body and then lengthen it out. Hold it there. Let's do the arm and the leg at the same time. Left elbow, left hip, knee in towards the belly. Lengthen. Slowly come in. I'm inhaling to lengthen. I'm exhaling as I curl in. I've lost count. So let's say that's 4. Let's do for 3. For 2. Last one. And then hold it there. And then slowly lower, come back to tabletop. Maybe just give that right hand a little bit of a shake. Set your base. Neutral shoulder blades, neutral spine, neck in line with the rest of the spine, hand over the shoulders. Knees under hips. Activate the core, slide the left leg out, squeeze the glute, raise it up. Slide that right hand out, maybe stay here with the fingertips on the mat or raise the arm. Right elbow, right hip, lengthen that arm out. Right elbow, right hip, lengthen it out. Hold it there. Left knee to the belly, lengthen it out. Left knee to the belly, lengthen it out. And on your next exhale, right elbow, right hip, knee to the belly, lengthen out. Left knee to the belly, right elbow to the hip, lengthen out. Got 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And then hold it there. Slowly lower all the way down. Nice big sigh. Step the left foot in between the hands. Step the right foot in between the hands. You're coming into a low squat with a hip hinge. Lovely long spine. Feet about hip width apart. Bring the hands to the hips. And then slowly, with a lovely long back, come all the way up to standing. Release the hands. Maybe heel toe the feet so they're about hip width apart. Crown of the head towards the ceiling, root down for both feet. Check that the weight's even for both feet. Knees are slightly soft. Glutes are on, core's activated, shoulders are relaxed. And then very slowly just come onto the balls of your feet, so shifting the weight forward and then shift the weight back to the heels. Weight forward to the balls of the feet, then back to the heels. And as I'm shifting my weight back to the heels, I'm finding that my toes are lifting up. So if yours are, that is fine. Now, if your balance is not very good, please do this next to a wall or maybe a chair, and then you can hold the back of the chair. I've got my arms down by my side, but you can bring them out for balance. And then come back to center. Now I'm going to come onto the sides of my feet. So on the outside edge of my left foot, the inside edge of my right foot, and now I'm coming back over, outside edge of my right foot, inside edge of my left foot, back to center, over to the left outside edge, right inside, back to center, outside of the right foot, inside of the left. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Left outside, right inside, back to center, right outside, left inside, back to center. Last one. Left outside, right inside, back to center, right outside, left inside, back to center. And now I'm going to rock through the balls of my feet. I'm going to shift some onto the left outside edge, right inside edge, and then come round to the heels, right outside edge, left inside, and then back to the balls of my feet. So I'm making little circles round. Just be careful with your balance. If you feel a little bit wobbly and a bit unstable, just go to a wall or the back of a chair. Keep it nice and slow. Focus on one spot. My core is activated. And then slowly change direction. May feel a little bit different this way round. My knees are still soft. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. And back to center. Okay. Just roll those shoulders back. Have a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe shake those arms. Chair. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, hips are floating back, my core is engaged, I'm hinging from my hips, keeping my chest open, bending those knees. Hands can either be at the hips or at the heart center, or I've got my arms extended along my shoulders. And on your next inhale, slowly come all the way back up to standing. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips are going back, core's activated, knees are bending. Check that your knees are going in the direction of your toes. Next exhale, slowly, inhale should I say, slowly come all the way back up. Inhale, chair. Arms can stay here, or they can come up a little bit higher, whichever feels comfortable for you. And then slowly come back up with your inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale here, hold it. Exhale up, one more. Exhale, lower. Inhale here. Exhale, come all the way up. One more, we're going to come all the way down. This time we're going to hold it here. Check in with the breath. Check that the core's activated. Check that the pelvis is in neutral and that the chest is staying open. And on your next inhale, slowly push down through the feet, start to lengthen out the legs, coming all the way up to standing, activate those glutes. Going to do a single leg standing balance. Activate the core, find a focal point, check in with the breath. Soften that left leg. Activate the left thigh. So I'm imagining that I'm squeezing my thigh bone with my leg muscles, shifting my weight onto that left leg. Then slowly, hands can be on the hips, or you can bring them out to side, or again use a wall or a chair, coming up onto the ball of my foot. So I've lifted my right heel, holding it here. If that feels comfortable, maybe come up onto the toes. Keeping focus, check in with that breath, and maybe float the toes off the floor, but if not, keep the toes on the floor. Check that the weight's even through that foot, that left foot. Slowly place the right toes back. Slowly place the heel back down, weight even on both feet. Shifting the weight over onto that right side, core's activated, squeezing that right thigh bone with the right muscles, knees slightly soft, find your focal point. Coming up onto the ball of your left foot, hold it there. Maybe come up onto the left toes. Check in with the breath, it should be nice and smooth and steady. And then maybe float the left toes off the mat. Hold it there. Don't worry if you feel your ankle moving. Keep the weight even in the feet, the foot. Slowly place the left ball of the foot down. Slowly shift the weight back into both feet. Let's repeat that. Shifting the weight onto that left leg. Core's activated, focus on one spot. Slowly come onto the ball of the right foot. Maybe come up to the toes. Maybe bring the toes off the floor, holding it here. You can stay here for a little bit longer, or you can place that right foot back down and then repeat this on the left. Slowly place the right foot back down. Let's shift onto the right. Core's activated. Soften the right knee, find your focal point. Coming up onto the balls of the left foot. And when you're ready, maybe float the toes off the floor, maybe come up a little bit higher. Keep focusing and breathing. Maybe rest if you need to, or just stay here for another breath or two. Slowly float the left toes back down, weight even in both feet. Let's repeat that again on the left. Shifting the weight onto the left, core's activated, lovely long spine. Remember that pelvis is still in neutral. When you're ready, bring the right heel off the floor. Maybe float the toes off the floor. Just come into your balances nice and slow, just like layering it up. If that feels comfortable, you can either keep the hands at the hips or arms down by your side. You may be able to bring that leg up a little bit higher, even higher. If you need to rest, you can do so, or you can swap straight over onto the left side. You can stay here, maybe point and flex the right foot. Maybe circle the ankle. And just come to stillness, holding it there. And then very, very slowly start to lower that right foot back down to the floor, toes are down, and then weight even on both feet. So whilst we're working on the balance, we're also working on the core. You feel it strengthening that leg that you're standing on, shifting your weight onto the right, find your focal point, check that the core's activated, focus on the breath. I'm on the ball of my left foot, coming onto my left toes, slowly floating my left toes off the floor. I'm holding it there. Get your balance, get your focus here. Check that that core's activated. Maybe you can lift that leg a little bit higher. If you need to rest, please do so. Maybe come up a little bit higher. Maybe point and flex that foot. Maybe just staying still. And then maybe circle the left ankle. So even if you're not as high as I am, you can still point and flex the foot and circle the ankle. And then come to stillness. Check in with the breath. See even I'm wobbling. And then very, 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 very slowly come all the way back down. Ball of the left foot touches the mat. Weight even in both feet. Maybe have a little wiggle of those legs. Take a nice deep breath in. Bring the hands to the hips. We're going to hip hinge all the way down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge from the hips. Start to bend and soften those knees. Hinging forward, keep the chest open. Bend those knees. Place the hands on the floor. Right leg back, left leg back to tabletop, tuck both toes, check in that you're spreading the fingers wide, and take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, slowly come into your down dog, so pushing the hips up and back, your inverted V. You can soften those knees if you need to, have a nice long stretch here, lengthen the armpits, check that the weight's even between the hands and the feet, hips are high. And on your next exhale, slowly lower the knees to the floor, cross the feet over at the ankles, and just come to an easy cross-legged. Sit up nice and tall, weight even on both seat bone, crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then placing the fingertips to the side on the mat, reach the right arm up nice and long, and then side bend over to the left, opening out the right side of the body. And just relax that left ear down towards the left shoulder. A few deep breaths here. Slowly come all the way up to center, right fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend over to the right, open out the left side of the body. And inhale all the way back to center, placing the hands on the knees, lengthen the spines, sit up nice and tall, eyes are closed. And then let's go back to our equal breath, inhaling and exhaling for 3. And then just check That the forehead is soft and the space between the eyebrows is soft. The jaw is relaxed. And your next exhale, you're just going to sigh it out through the mouth. And then slowly bring the palms together, hands through to heart center. Allow the thumbs to connect to the heartbeat. And then slowly start to flutter your eyes open. Thank you very much for joining me for your practice. I hope you liked that little balance sequence. Remember, with your balance, make sure the core's activated, take it nice and slow, find your focal point, and just remember that each day your balance is going to vary from session to session, day to day. If you'd like to, you can subscribe to Be Happy Yoga. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.